If you're sitting around waiting for Suffolk home prices to drop, you might be in for a rude awakening. While other Hampton Roads cities are cooling off, Suffolk's quietly exploding. And by the time everyone realizes it, the deals are going to be long gone. In this video, I'm breaking down why Suffolk's blowing up. What's driving the growth, where buyers are getting the best value, and how this affects you if you're buying or selling in 2026. What's going on? I'm Jason Edwards with eXp Realty, retired Navy turned real estate advisor, and I've helped dozens of military families relocate right here across Hampton Roads. We'll look at the billion-dollar projects changing the city, the neighborhoods getting the most attention, and the real data behind Suffolk's surge. So if you want to get ahead of the crowd before Suffolk turns into the next Chesapeake, stick around. This could save you a whole lot of money and stress. Let's get after it. All right, so here's what we're tackling today. Suffolk's been the quiet kid in class for years. Big land, laid back feel, plenty of elbow room. But suddenly everybody's talking about it. Prices are climbing, traffic's backing up on 460, and buyers from Virginia Beach and Chesapeake are starting to look west thinking, wait, I can get all this for that price? By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why Suffolk's market is taking off when others are cooling down, what the numbers really look like from the MLS right now, and whether 2026 is still a smart window to buy, or if you've already missed it. So grab your coffee or your energy drink, sit back, and let's unpack why this city is growing faster than my to-do list. Here's the headline. Suffolk isn't just keeping pace with Hampton Roads, it's leading it. Since 2020, the city's added more than 10% to its population. That's over 10,000 new residents in just a few years, and that momentum hasn't slowed. While Norfolk, Hampton, and Virginia Beach have actually lost residents since 2020, Suffolk's been gaining families, retirees, and a lot of military transplants who are done paying coastal premiums. You might have heard the phrase, drive till you can afford it. Well, Suffolk's where a lot of those drives are ending. It's kind of the sweet spot, close enough to commute, far enough to afford. And the numbers back it up. The median household income's hovering around $90,000 a year, the home ownership rate's about 70%, and the average household income just cracked 6 figures. That's a strong middle-class base. People putting down roots, not just renting while they figure things out. What's fueling that? Space, new construction, and a city that still feels like a small community. You've got neighborhoods like Harbour View with restaurants and golf courses, but drive 20 minutes and you're in Holland with acreage and peace and quiet. It's the best of both worlds. For a lot of military families and first-time buyers, this is the first place that feels attainable again. After years of chasing bidding wars in Chesapeake or losing out to cash buyers in Virginia Beach, Suffolk's that breath of fresh air, literally and financially. Now, all that sounds great, but you know me, I don't stop at it's booming. Let's talk about how booming it actually is, because behind the headlines are some real numbers that tell a story of a market that's heating up, but still balanced. For example, average days on market right now is up to 29. That's less than a month, which in real estate time is pretty fast, but it seems a lot longer because homes have been going so fast in the past. Stick around, because we're about to look at what homes are actually selling for, how much competition buyers really face, and what all this means if you're trying to time your move. All right, let's dig into the meat of it, the part every buyer and seller actually wants to know. What's the market really doing right now? As of September 2025, the median home price in Suffolk sits at about $407,500, up about 2% since last year. That may not sound jaw-dropping, but context matters. Most Hampton Roads cities have flattened or even dropped a little bit. Norfolk barely budged. Portsmouth dipped. Suffolk's still quietly moving forward, and that steady 2% climb means it's healthy growth, not a bubble. Average homes are selling in just 29 days, up about 6.7% from a year ago. But as I said a minute ago, that's still pretty fast in real estate time. The difference from 2021's chaos you actually have a chance to breathe before writing an offer. Inventory's up to about 3.7 months of supply, which finally puts Suffolk in something close to a balanced market. Translation, sellers still technically have the advantage, but buyers aren't getting crushed like they were during those 20 offer weekends. If you've been stationed here a while, you've probably seen this shift firsthand. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, homes in Harbour View were selling the day they hit the market. Now they're staying long enough for you to schedule a showing and maybe even think about it overnight. Crazy concept, right? Now let's look at Suffolk against its neighbors. In Chesapeake, the median price is about $424,000, up 3.4% year over year and about 30 days on the market. Virginia Beach, the median's around $425,000, up about 2 to 5%, selling in under 3 weeks. In Norfolk, the median is about $320,000, basically flat. So you're getting a home that's newer, on a bigger lot, for roughly $17,000 less than Chesapeake and about $20,000 plus less than Virginia Beach. And that's before you even talk about square footage. It's like ordering the large coffee at the small cup price. Same caffeine, more room to breathe. That was a ChatGPT joke. For families or first-timers, that difference is what makes the dream finally doable again. All right, here's the fun part. Why this city's expanding faster than my email inbox. First, also a ChatGPT joke. First, jobs and infrastructure. Suffolk's not just building houses, it's building an economy. Let's start with the big headline, one that's kind of been a pain in my butt. Port 460. 5.5 million square feet of logistics space, 500 plus acres, and nearly 9,000 permanent jobs projected once it's all running. If you've driven that stretch lately on 460 from about Kings Fork to about Godwin Boulevard, you know it's chaos. I live not too far from there, and between the dump trucks, the lane shifts, orange barrels, it feels like a permanent detour through construction. And that's not even counting the Route 58 flyover project, which at rush hour, it's like a parking lot. But here's the trade-off. That pain equals progress. When those projects finish, hopefully we'll have smoother access to 664, better truck flow to the port, and fewer choke points heading into downtown. Right now, however, it's like playing Frogger with excavators and bulldozers, but the payoff, hopefully, is going to be worth it. The Port 460 development alone is expected to pump billions into local revenue, which helps fund schools, public safety, and, fingers crossed, maybe a few more infrastructure upgrades. Add in the Amazon Fulfillment Center, that was another about 5,000 jobs, plus Centera Health System, Naval Information Forces Command, and countless smaller suppliers tied to the port. You've got employment diversity and steady demand for housing. The city's capital improvements plan totals about $2 billion over the next 10 years. New schools, utility upgrades, and infrastructure modernization, all of which Suffolk desperately needs. When a locality pours that much back into itself, it tells you confidence is high. And for homeowners, that means appreciation with staying power. We're not relying on hype, we're building real value. I hear a lot of people say, Suffolk still feels small, and it really does. Community events, local restaurants, you'll see the same faces, but under the hood, it's becoming an economic engine for all of Hampton Roads. That combination, small town feel with big city opportunity, is rare. That's why families are choosing to stay even after their PCS orders end. Like me. If you're starting to think Suffolk might be the right move, grab my free buyer's guide linked down in the description. It walks you through the whole process, from pre-approval all the way to closing. And it'll save you from learning the hard way what not to do in this market. Now that we've talked about the numbers and what's fueling them, let's look at what this means if you're actually thinking about buying, selling, or investing here. For buyers, Suffolk right now is kind of like that window between the storm warning and the downpour. You still have time to act, but the clouds are definitely building. You're getting in before the full effects of the Port 460 expansion, the school construction, and all that infrastructure money hit home values. Once those are done, demand's only going up. Homes under $425,000 are still moving pretty fast, but not frantic. You can negotiate again. Sellers are actually saying words like, sure, we can cover closing costs. It's a wild time. The other plus side, you've got options. New builds, established neighborhoods, acreage, you name it. And because Suffolk has the largest land area in Hampton Roads, there's room for builders to keep adding inventory, which helps keep prices from skyrocketing overnight. It's one of the few places in the region where buyers can still dream big and actually make it happen. For sellers, if you bought 3 to 5 years ago, you're probably sitting on some serious equity. With values up and inventory still below normal, you're in a prime spot to list before competition heats up next spring. The key is pricing smart. Overpriced homes are the ones sitting. Price it right, present it well, and you'll see multiple offers. Not the circus we saw in 2021. Think more of a polite tug of war than a full-on Black Friday stampede or a mosh pit. For investors, you're in a sweet zone too. Rents are strong, vacancy rates are low, and those job projects mean more long-term tenants with stable income. Just be ready for rising property assessments and the tax bill that comes with it. Some risks, as I said, property taxes could climb as assessments rise, will climb as assessments rise. Flood zones near the rivers, do your research before you fall in love with a backyard dock. And as I also mentioned before, infrastructure strain. More people means more traffic, especially near 58 and 460. It's just something that I've come to live with. If you can live with those trade-offs, Suffolk's about as solid a market as you'll find in Virginia right now. If you had to pick your perfect Suffolk setup, big suburban neighborhood or a little land out in Holland or Whaleyville, what's your move? Drop it in the comments. I like seeing how people balance space and commute. All right, let's talk neighborhoods, because Suffolk's not one size fits all. Each area's got its own rhythm, price range, and personality. First, Harbour View and Bennett's Creek. This is what most people picture when they think of North Suffolk, or Suffolk as I like to call it. You've got shopping, golf, restaurants, a movie theater, pretty much everything within about a 5 or 10 minute radius. Median prices here range from about the mid 400s to the low 700s, although at the riverfront you're going to even go up into the 900s and into the millions. You'll see brick colonials, new construction townhomes, even luxury waterfront. Perfect for military officers, professionals, or anyone who wants easy access to 664 without the chaos of actual Chesapeake. Next, there's Riverwood and Burbage Grant, a couple of mid-range neighborhoods. My first house I bought in Riverwood. If you're looking for classic suburban neighborhoods with sidewalks, good schools, and parks, this is it. Riverwood and Burbage Grant are a little bit older, built in the early 2000s, but they're very established. You'll find prices mostly between the mid 300s and low 400s, right in that kind of sweet spot for VA buyers using zero down financing. Burbage Grant is close to the amenities in North Suffolk, and Riverwood is close to downtown, but they're both kind of tucked away enough to feel peaceful. And with the flyover project on 58, once it's done, it'll be much smoother access east, assuming we all survive the construction. Next, downtown Suffolk. Don't sleep on it. It's going through a quiet renaissance, revival maybe. Local coffee shops, small businesses, and renovations of those classic brick buildings. You can still find updated historic homes in the $275,000 to about $400,000 range, and there's a real community vibe. If you like character and walkability, this might be your spot. You'll trade yard space for personality, but that's part of the appeal. Different priorities for different people. Then you've got Holland and Whaleyville, kind of the rural retreats. If you're the kind of person who wants a few acres, maybe some chickens, or a big workshop, head south. Holland and Whaleyville offer that country piece with median prices in the low to mid 300s, depending on what you're looking at. There's also some new constructions going up in some of the more rural areas too. You'll trade proximity for privacy, but plenty of folks make it work, especially remote workers and retirees. Out there, the night sky actually looks like a night sky. You can hear frogs and crickets instead of traffic. So whether you're chasing convenience, community, or countryside, Suffolk's gotta fit. And that's part of what's driving the boom. It's super diverse. There's literally something for every budget and lifestyle, all within the same city limits, although those city limits are the largest in Virginia. Here's the thing, Suffolk's not growing in a vacuum. What's happening here ties directly into what's happening across the rest of Hampton Roads. Right now, the regional median home price sits around $375,000. Suffolk's just above that at $407,500. But when you stack it against Virginia Beach and Chesapeake, it's still a better value for what you get. It's kind of like the Goldilocks zone of Hampton Roads real estate. Virginia Beach has the beach, but you'll pay for it. Chesapeake has very highly rated schools and space, but competition's tight. Suffolk sits right between them, affordable enough for first-timers, upscale enough for move-up buyers, and still within commuting distance for the military crowd working in Norfolk or Portsmouth. But that kind of relief valve role also means more pressure is coming. As prices keep climbing elsewhere, buyers are flowing into Suffolk, and that demand eventually drives appreciation here too, as well as the other things that come with a higher population, i.e. traffic. So when you hear people say, "I'll wait for prices to drop," what they're really saying is, "I'll wait to pay more later." We're seeing the same pattern we saw in Chesapeake 5 years ago. Growth that starts slow, then compounds fast as infrastructure catches up and employers move in. That's why understanding where Suffolk is headed, not just where it's been, matters if you're planning to buy in 2026. All right, let's bring it all home. What should you actually do with all this? If you're a buyer, don't panic. But don't sleep on this either. 2026 still looks like a solid opportunity window. Rates may ease a little, but inventory is not going to flood back overnight. And as new jobs from Port 460 and Amazon come online, more people will need housing. Get your pre-approval now so you're ready when the right home hits. And if you're using a VA loan, make sure your agent actually understands how to leverage it. I can't tell you how many times I've seen military buyers lose offers because someone didn't know the process. That's why I always say, it's not about winning the bidding war. It's about building a strategy that fits your situation. If you're relocating, give yourself more lead time than you think. I've worked with families PCSing from Hawaii to Hampton Roads who never set foot in the house before closing. We handled everything virtually, inspections and all. That may not be right for everyone, but whether you're moving across town or across the ocean, the sooner you start planning, the smoother it's probably going to go. If you're a seller, you still got some leverage, just not licensed to overprice. Buyers are smarter, rates have normalized, and they're doing their homework. Price it right, market it well, and you'll still move fairly quickly. And if you're buying and selling at the same time, that extra inventory means you actually have somewhere to go now, which wasn't the case a couple years ago. If you're watching from out of state, I get it. Relocating to a new city is overwhelming. Suffolk might not show up in glossy travel magazines, but once you see the neighborhoods, the schools, and how much house you can get, you'll understand why it's growing so fast. If you're thinking about making a move, whether that's to Suffolk or anywhere in Hampton Roads, grab my free buyer's guide in the description below. It's packed with checklists, timelines, and tips that'll save you from the biggest first-time mistakes I see every week. So, a quick recap. Suffolk's growing faster than any other city in Hampton Roads. Median price is up 2%, days on market down to 29, and over $2 billion in infrastructure fueling new jobs and development. It's more affordable compared to Chesapeake and Virginia Beach, diverse in lifestyle options, and poised for long-term growth. Yes, traffic around 460 is definitely a headache right now, but that's short-term pain for long-term gain. Whether you're military, a first-time buyer, or a local homeowner thinking about your next step, Suffolk's a city worth paying attention to in 2026. This isn't hype. It's a moment in time where you can still get space, community, and value before the next big wave of growth hits. If you've been waiting for a sign to start your home search, this might be it. I'd love to help however I can. Call, text, or email me anytime. All my information's below in the description. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll talk to you soon.